galvanize a vote for the winning team.
Yes.
Because that totally disregards the level of thinking of the Kenyan electorate, that we may come from the same region, but I do not agree probably with your campaign or your manifesto or something like that. Simply believing that because we come from this region, we have to vote a certain way. Do you think that that is part of the problem, and as Kathy says, going back on the gains we've made?
Of course, there is also what Kenyan elections are what we call constituency-based elections, unlike in South Africa. Constituency-based elections is a scenario whereby you do not expect DCP, you do not expect Jubilee to get even a single, in the normal scheme of things, to get a single seat in Luo Nyanza in the coming general elections. They have not gotten it in the last 4 elections. It's a reality that you can wish to run away from, but it is what it is, okay? Therefore, the presidential election going in the last 3-4 election cycles have been won on the basis of an electoral math that, for example, for William Ruto to be president, he needed a lot of support from Mount Kenya and a lot of support from his own region. Those 2 areas constituted a huge percentage. I believe more than 90% of the votes that he got. It was a regional victory. It was the same case when it was Uhuru Kenyatta. And I believe if Raila Odinga had won, it was still on the basis of what were obviously regional blocks. So that is the reality of the electoral math. We cannot run away from it. The only additional issue that we need to examine closely, and I hope it will involve, it is the creation of new political tribe, in quotes, the Gen Z tribe. If this tribe evolves, it could easily even be a bigger political tribe based on the numbers alone, or potential numbers, because it is one that can easily get to between 8 to 15 million. If that becomes a reality, that becomes a decisive vote, and actually a winning vote, if everything goes well. But as of now, because we've not seen real evidence that it will be felt in a consequential manner in the next general election, it is a reason why Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto and others are still asserting and saying our traditional vote block consists of this number of people. But that does not have to be the actual reality when we shall actually be voting in 2027. So therefore, for me, and that is why I keep on saying, if you actually were to ask me, my personal view as Kibe Mungai, I would actually want Matiang'i to run for the president without bothering about opposition unity. Why do I say that? Because he is the candidate with the greatest opportunities as things stand right now to galvanize what I call is the potentially largest political tribe in Kenya, the tribe of the younger generation, which is largely tribeless and value-based. Because that one is one of the things that is going to rescue us from the tribalism that we have known. It is also going to ensure, because in the next election, even if we are unable to remove William Ruto, for me, I'll be satisfied if William Ruto does not get more than 80 MPs or 100 at most. Because the scenario that you are having right now is that parliament is dead. And I believe Kenya is worse off because of the fact that parliament is dead, because even the capacity for Ruto to be an open dictator has also actually depended more on the fact that parliament is dead. So we have a lot of opportunities. The death of Raila Odinga is also another great opportunity, because for the first time in the region that he controls, you may have competitive elections. Voices that have been suppressed in the Tanzanian way for a long period may be vented, may be expressed. Therefore, we are looking at great opportunities. In the first instance, it appeared like, oh, the death of Raila means ODM is going to dissolve and become part of UDA. But I think they seem to be relatively proud people who cannot just be able to wind up their house and go to the step further. That would be a great thing.
All right. Let's now, as we come to the end of this discussion, let's now examine those statements about the quality of leaders that we have elected in Kenya over the past few years. And that statement